So in last class we have discussed about solid dosage forms. So today we are going to talking about this liquid dosage forms. So liquid dosage forms means solution. If dosage form is present as liquid form, then it is known as liquid dosage forms. When a substance which is one or more substances is dissolved in specific solvent, then that is known as liquid dosage forms. This liquid dosage forms are of two types, that is intended for external use whereas intended for internal use also. Again, these internal dosage preparations are of two types, monophasic liquid dosage forms and biphasic liquid dosage forms. And external liquid dosage forms are of three types based on their application: apply onto skin, instilled into body cavity and used in mouth. These are different classes of dosage form based on their application in case of external, and in case of internal they are of two types, monophasic and biphasic liquid dosage forms. Next one is advantages with the liquid dosage forms are which gives fastest absorption of the liquid dosage form. Why? Because means if you have seen solid dosage forms, after administration they have to get breakdown and then they get absorbed. In case of liquid dosage form, they are already present in liquid, so they are easily absorbed into body fluids, and which are very easy to add flavors, color and sweetening to the liquid dosage forms, and they are easy to swallow, so they can administer any age group patients like pediatrics, that means children's, or old age group patients. As they are in homogeneous system, that means they are forming single phase after mixing the solid substance with the liquid, they form homogeneous system. So the uniformity of drug can be obtained with the liquid dosage forms. They are forming homogeneous system, so the drug will be uniformly distributed in the medium of the solvent. And if any drugs are having gastroirritant in their nature, if they irritate the gastric mucosa which causes vomiting with the solid dosage forms, so if any drugs are having gastroirritant in their nature, they can be provided as liquid dosage forms, so their effect may be reduced. They are the advantages with liquid dosage form. They give fastest absorption rate when compared to solids, and they can be given to any age group patients like pediatrics or old group patients, and they can easily added flavors, colors and sweetening to the liquid dosage forms, and they are easy to swallow by any age group of patients. And as they are forming homogeneous system, that means one phase, so the drug will be uniformly distributed in the liquid. And some of the drugs are having gastroirritant in their nature like aspirin or KCL, they are having gastroirritant in their natures when we are given orally in a solid dosage form, so their effect is to be reduced by the liquid dosage forms. They are all advantages with liquid dosage forms. And next one is disadvantages. As they are present in liquid systems, they are less stable. Why? Because means which consists of aqueous phase. This aqueous phase is very suitable for growing of microorganisms, so they are less stable as they are developing microorganisms rapidly in the aqueous phase, and it is very difficult to measure accurate doses. If you see in solid dosage forms, you can take accurate dose like 650 mg or 500 mg or whatever, but in case of liquid dosage forms, it is very difficult to measure accurately. And if accidentally the container is break down, there may be a complete loss of dosage form. These are disadvantages with the liquid dosage forms. Or if any drug is having unpleasant taste or odor, is very difficult to make it as a liquid dosage form. Whereas they are very difficult to transport in bulky because they may be leads to breakage of container, and breakage of container may leads to loss of all the dosage form. So these are all disadvantages with the liquid dosage form, that are less stable because as they are developing more rapidly microorganisms due to presence of aqueous phase, and is very difficult to measure accurate dosage with the liquid dosage forms. And if container is break, then which may be leads to complete loss of the system, that means dosage forms. And then if any drug is having unpleasant taste or odor, then it is very difficult to make it as a liquid dosage form. And if they are very difficult to transport bulky because they may be leads to container breakage, and which may be leads to complete loss of the drug or preparation. Next one is classification, which includes two types, that is monophasic and biphasic. So monophasic means single phase. When you are mixing solid with the solvent or solid with the solution, this forms homogeneous system, that is single phase. So if it is forming single phase or homogeneous, which is called as monophasic, and these monophasic systems are represented by two solutions, and as it is forming one phase, they are clear solutions. When we form clear solution, if you are dissolving solute with the suitable solvent, it forms single phase, that is clear solution. So it is called as monophasic. Mono, which is single. One phase, that is single phase. So it is called as monophase liquid dosage forms. And this monophase liquid dosage forms are again of two types, that is internal and external. Internal examples are syrups, elixirs, linctures, and solutions. These four types comes under internal dosage forms. So we can discuss about each one. The first one is syrup. Syrup is concentrated or saturated solutions of sucrose. So in this syrup, sucrose is present in 66.7% weight by weight. Why we call it as weight by weight solution means which consists of more amount of sucrose, that is 66.7%, so which is called as weight by weight solution. So syrups are saturated or clear solutions with the sucrose which consists of 66.7% weight by weight of sucrose, as it is containing this much amount of sucrose which is having some osmotic pressure. So due to this osmotic pressure of sucrose, there is no need to add any preservatives. Because as it is having osmotic pressure, due to this osmotic pressure, sucrose is acts as a self-preservative. So there is no need to add any preservatives in the syrup. And which consists of medicated substances like drugs, then the syrup is known as medicated syrup. If the syrup containing aromatic or flavored substances, then the syrups are known as flavored syrups. So syrups are concentrated or saturated solutions of sucrose. How much amount of sucrose is present? That means 66.7% weight by weight. So 66.7% sucrose consists of some osmotic pressure, so which is acts as self-preservative. So there is no need to add any preservatives. And if syrup containing medicated substances like drugs, then it is known as medicated syrup. If syrup containing aromatic or flavored substances, then it is known as flavored syrup. Next one is elixirs. Elixirs are clear, sweetened, aromatic, hydroalcoholic preparations. Hydroalcoholic. Hydro means water. Alcoholic means alcohol. So this elixir containing two solutions, that is water and alcohol. So these solutions are known as hydroalcoholic preparations which are meant for oral use. As same as like syrups, these elixirs are of two types, that is medicated and non-medicated. Medicated means which consists of drugs, then it is known as medicated elixir. If elixir containing flavored or aromatic substances, then the elixir is known as non-medicated elixir. And the composition of elixir containing mostly ethyl alcohol and water, and this ethyl alcohol is containing in 40% volume by volume. So this generally 5 to 40%. So this 5 to 40% volume by volume ethyl alcohol is acts as preservative in the elixir preparation. So which containing ethyl alcohol, water, glycerin, propylene glycol, coloring agents, flavoring agents and preservatives. And ethyl alcohol is containing in the elixir is 5 to 40%. This 5 to 40% concentration of ethyl alcohol is acts as preservative, that is self-preservative in the elixir preparation. So elixirs are clear, sweetened, aromatic and hydroalcoholic preparations. Hydroalcoholic means which containing both water and alcohol, so they are known as hydroalcoholic preparations and they are meant for oral use. And this medicated elixirs again containing some drugs like potent drugs. So potent drugs means small amount of drug is sufficient to produce desired therapeutic efficacy, then it is known as potent drug. So this elixir is containing potent drugs like antibiotics, antihistamines or sedatives, or these substances containing elixir is known as medicated elixir, whereas if substances like organoleptic or flower substances, then the elixir is known as non-medicated elixir. Next, the composition of elixir containing mainly ethyl alcohol, water, glycerin, propylene glycol, coloring agents and flavoring agents. This is the composition of elixir. In this composition, ethyl alcohol is present in 5 to 40%. So this 5 to 40% concentration of ethyl alcohol acts as self-preservative in the elixir preparation. Next category is external liquid dosage forms in monophasic only. Next one is linctures. So linctures are viscous liquid preparations, as are same like syrups, but they are concentrated and viscous preparations. So these linctures are used to treat the cough. These linctures containing one or more medicaments which have demulcent, sedative, expectorant actions on throat mucous membrane. So demulcent means after administration of these linctures, they form one protective film on the mucous membrane. Like imagine it is a throat, so they form some protective layer on the throat mucous membrane. Through this layer, they produce soft texture, so they will relieve from the cough. That's why they will act as a treatment in the cough. So these linctures are viscous liquid preparations that are used for the treatment of cough. So which consists of one or more medicaments, and that medicament having some nature like demulcent, sedative, expectorant on the throat mucous membrane. Like they will form one protective layer on the throat mucous membrane so that they can relieve from the itching of throat by forming protective film so that they can relieve from the cough. And they are used in they are taken in very small doses without diluting. We cannot dilute the linctures while administering. And mostly simple syrup is acts as a vehicle in the linctures preparation. So linctures are viscous liquid preparations which are used to treat cough and which containing one or more medicaments and which are having some nature like demulcent, sedative, expectorant action on throat mucous membrane. That means they can form one protective layer on the throat mucous membrane so they can relieve from the cough, and they are taken in very small doses without diluting with the water. We cannot mix any water while administering the linctures, and they can provide prolonged effect, and simple syrup is used as a vehicle in the preparation of linctures. So next class of monophasic liquid dosage forms are external application preparations. In that again of three types based on their application. First one is applied on the skin. So applied on the skin is examples are lotions and liniments. So first one is lotions. Lotions are usually aqueous, alcoholic or oily liquid preparations, and these lotions are intended for external application to the skin without friction. How we are applying the lotions means without friction we have to apply, and for this application we have to use some absorbent material like cotton wool or gauze. With the help of this some absorbent materials like cotton wool and gauze, you can apply lotions without friction, and this is generally used to provide cooling, soothing and protective effect on the skin. Lotions are aqueous, alcoholic or oily liquid preparations which are meant for external application to the skin, and you have to apply these lotions without friction on the affected area, and usually this application with some absorbent material like cotton wool and gauze. So after application of this lotion, they will provide some cooling, soothing and protective action on the skin. Next one is liniments. Liniments are semi-liquid preparations meant for external application, and how we are applying these liniments are with friction. Is what the difference between lotion and liniment. Lotions are applied without friction, whereas liniments are applied with friction on the skin, and which consists of alcohols and oil. This alcohol provides some rubefacient or counter-irritant effects, or in case of oily liniment which are very easily apply onto the skin. Alcohol in the liniment causes rubefacient or counter-irritant effect. That means which can irritate the skin, thereby they can relieve the pain of on affected area. And oils in the liniments are used to apply very easily on the skin. And these liniments should not apply on broken skins. If you are applying onto the broken skin, which may be leads to excessive irritation on that part, so that we cannot apply these liniments on broken skin. So liniments are semi-liquid preparations for external application, so which are applied on the skin with friction. So which consists of alcohols and oils. Alcohols containing liniments are used for lubrication and counter irritant effect. That means which irritates the skin, thereby they can relieve the pain on affected area. Whereas oils and liniments are easy to apply on the skin, which forms a protective layer. And these liniments do not apply on broken skin because they can cause excessive irritation on the part, so that we should not apply liniment on broken skin. Next category is instilled into body cavities. So instilled into body cavities examples are eardrops, nasal drops. So eardrops are solutions of drugs that are instilled into ear with the help of dropper. So if you see in the picture, so with the help of dropper they can instilled into ear. Solutions which are instilled into ear with the help of dropper are known as eardrops, which are generally used to cleansing the ear or softening the wax. For treating mild infections, they will use eardrops. And these eardrops generally prepared by water, glycerin, dilute alcohols and propylene glycol. This is the composition of eardrops, that is water, glycerin, propylene glycol and dilute alcohols. As it is containing these ingredients in the eardrops, they are used to softening the ear and treating mild infections. Next one is nasal drops, same as that of eardrops only, but they are instilled for nose or nostrils. Then it is known as nasal drops. These are the aqueous or liquid paraffin solutions of drugs which are instilled into nostrils to treat decongestion effect. If any person feel like blockage of airway or any mild infections in the nostrils, then they can use this nasal drops to relieve the decongestion effect on the nostrils. And this nasal drops provide local effect. Local effect means if they show an effect on particular area, then it is known as local effect. If any drug or dosage form shows effect on particular area, then it is known as local effect. We have two types of effect, that is local effect and systemic effect. Local effect means particular area, whereas systemic effect means throughout the body which shows their action, then it is known as systemic effect. With this nasal drops we can provide or can get local effect. So example for nasal drop drugs are antihistamines or decongestants they will use in the preparation of nasal drops. Next one is douche. So douche is a device used to introduce stream of water. This stream of water is used to cleanse or cleaning the body cavity like vagina. Mostly these douches are used to clean vagina in case of irritations. If any person feel like vaginal irritation, then they will use this douche to provide stream of water for cleaning of the vagina, and along with this vagina you can use this douche to any body cavity. If you feel any irritation in any body cavity, you can use the douche to clean the body cavity. And this douche bag containing equipment which consists of fluid. So through this fluid they can spray onto body cavity for cleansing or rinsing the body cavity in order to get relief from the itchings. Next one, used in mouth. Used in mouth examples are gargles and throat pains. Gargles, mouthwashes. Gargles are aqueous solutions used to treat throat infections. And these gargles are dispensed in concentrated forms. So we have to dilute this gargle before use, and the dilution should be with warm water. So these gargles are aqueous solutions used to treat throat infections. So these gargles are dispensed in concentrated forms. So we have to dilute this gargle with warm water before use. And whenever you administer the gargle, you have to maintain some intimate contact with throat mucous membrane. That means you have to gargle gargling this gargle in the throat in order to maintain contact with the mucous membrane so that you can get relief from the throat pains or any other infections. And these gargles are used for antiseptics, antibiotics, anesthetics, or astringent or antifungal actions. So this gargles, when you administer this gargle, you have to do gargling for some time in order to maintain contact with the mucous membrane, so thereby you can get relief from the throat infections. And this gargles containing antiseptic action or antibiotic action or anesthetic or antifungal actions to get relief from the throat infections. Next one, mouthwashes. Mouthwashes are aqueous solutions with pleasant odor and acceptable odor. Why? Because when you are administering to mouth, you have to feel some good taste and odor, no? So which consists of pleasant odor and taste, so which are used to make clean or deodorize the buccal cavity. So if any person having some disorder or bad odor comes from the mouth, then they will use these mouthwashes in order to get relief from the bad odor from the mouth. And along with this treatment of deodorizing the buccal cavity, if any infection is there in the mouth, then they will use these mouthwashes in order to get relief from the infection in the mouth. So mainly these mouthwashes are mainly used containing antibacterial agent, alcohols, glycerin, coloring, sweetening and flavoring agents, because which are pleasant and acceptable taste, so that which containing sweetening agents, flavoring agents and coloring agents. Along with this, they will contain also antibacterial agent, alcohol and glycerin. This antibacterial agent is used to relieve or used to deodorize the buccal cavity if any person having bad odor in the mouth. Next one, biphasic liquid dosage form. This is another category in the liquid dosage forms. So biphasic means which consists of two phases. Monophase means single phase, no? So biphase means two phases. If any dosage form or liquid dosage form containing two phases in the preparation, then it is known as biphasic liquid dosage forms. So this biphasic liquid dosage forms are of two types, that is emulsions and suspensions. Emulsions are mainly consist of two phases which are in liquid only, whereas suspensions containing two phases but one phase is finely divided solid and another phase is liquid. In case of emulsions, both are liquids only. In case of suspensions, one is solid phase and one is liquid phase. So these are all examples for biphasic liquid dosage forms which consist of two phases. So first one is emulsions. Emulsions is a biphasic liquid dosage form which containing two immiscible liquids. For example, simple example is oil in water. So if you add oil in water, oil is dispersed as a globule in water. So if any substance is dispersed as a globule, then the phase is known as dispersed phase. And in which medium this globule is dispersed, then the medium is known as continuous phase. So this emulsion containing two phases, both are liquids only. One is dispersed phase and another one is continuous phase. One phase is dispersed as another medium. If any phase is dispersed as a globule, that phase is dispersed phase. If any globule is dispersed in some medium, that medium is known as continuous phase. So this dispersed phase is also known as internal phase, whereas continuous phase is also known as external phase. So these we have different types of emulsions. First one is water in oil and oil in water. In case of water in oil, oil is continuous phase, whereas water is dispersed phase. So water is dispersed in the globules in continuous phase in case of water in oil. In case of oil in water, oil is a globule, so it is a dispersed phase, whereas water is continuous phase. So water is oil is dispersed in the globule in continuous phase in case of oil in water emulsion. And we have another category also, that is depending on globule size. We have three types of emulsions, that is micro emulsion, fine emulsion and special type, which is multiple emulsion, that is water in oil in water and oil in water in oil, that is multiple emulsions. Next one is suspensions. Suspensions are biphasic liquid dosage forms which are also two phases, but one is solid particles or solid phase and another one is liquid phase. So solid phase is having some particle size, that is 0.5 to 5 microns, and this solid phase is dispersed as a in liquid or semi-solid. So in order to maintain the stability of the suspension, we have to add suspending agent. Either it may be single or it may be combination based on the type of suspension. So suspensions are biphasic liquid dosage form, that means which consists of two phases. One is solid phase and another one is liquid phase. So solid phase is dispersed in liquid phase, but this solid phase having some particle size, that is 0.5 to 5 microns, and this solid particle is dispersed in liquid or semi-solid medium. And in order to stabilize the suspension, we need to add suspending agent, and it may be single or it may be combinations based on type of suspension. So the solid phase is known as dispersed phase, whereas liquid phase is known as continuous phase. And this external phase, this continuous phase is also known as external phase, no? So external phase is generally aqueous in their nature in case of medicated use. So if suspension is for medicated use, then you have to use the suspension medium or external phase in aqueous only, that means water only. If in case it is non-medicated suspensions, then you can use oils or any liquids or oily liquids for non-medicated use. So in case suspension is for medical use, then you have to use the suspension medium, that means continuous phase in aqueous only, that means water only. In case non-medicated use, you can use any organic solvents or oily liquids in the place of suspending medium. In order to, and in case of any suspensions for external purpose, then you have to provide better particle size in order to avoid grittiness on the skin. So the particle size should be small in order to avoid grittiness of the skin.